welcome to my channel, Blooms and Brushstrokes. I'm Krista, and this is my watercolor channel. Thank you to everyone that is returning. For all of you that have been so engaged in this channel, you guys make it so much fun to continue to do these videos. It is awesome, and I really enjoy it. And for those of you that are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and checking things out. So today, as I mentioned in the last tutorial, I am just getting ready to do a sale. So I make these beaded bracelets, and then I have obviously all these watercolor cards that I can sell. So I'm taking them to a sale. I actually am heading back to university here in the fall, and so I'm hopeful that I can sell a few things and help me to cover some of the costs of what school's gonna cost me. Not that it's necessary, but I think it's kind of fun to set a goal and attain it. So that's the plan. So right now I'm working on these watercolor cards, but I have had somebody about 3 months ago, they had made a comment on this short. If you guys can see that. I did that as a short, and they were wondering if I would be able to do a tutorial on how I did that. And so I thought today would be a great day to do a similar picture as this. As you know, I hate doing the same thing too many times, or actually even twice. It's just not my jam. It's not creative, but something along the lines of this painting here, but smaller on a card, because I am painting. I'm not frantic. I have a few cards ready to go, but I am trying to get ready for this sale that is on July 4th. So it'll be just a few days after this video comes out, the sale will be happening. Anyhow, so I thought, well, then I might as well work on some cards with you guys, and then it's a fun little tutorial, and then it doesn't take too long and get too boring. So today we are going to use the Mangayo watercolor paints, likely the same brushes I always use, the number 8 Aqualite Princeton long round brush. That one I absolutely love. I'll be using the number 1 script brush and the 10-0. No, you know what? I won't be probably doing the 10-0 on this one because I've done the metallic, and maybe I will. I'll also have the 10-0 on hand because I may end up using it. So I think that's it for materials. I'm using the Strathmore watercolor cardstock. I got that off of Amazon. So if you guys are interested in that, I will link it in the description with everything so you guys can check it out. They are the 5x7 or around that size of card. So they're awesome to work with. I think you have 50 cards for $40. Like, it always depends on what's going on Amazon and whatever. So they do vary in prices. The other thing that I got that's cool, and that maybe we'll do in the next tutorial with, I haven't even opened these up yet, but because I thought this would be something cool I could work on small. These came off Amazon as well. Thank goodness for Amazon, I tell you. It honestly, the only reason that I really use Amazon as often as I do is because I live in a rural community. We don't have art stores here. The population is 1,200 people. That's with 3 little communities combined. So I really don't have a lot of access to a lot of stuff. But anyways, I got these little bookmarks. And so these are, you know, that watercolor card. So I think I'm going to do some bookmarks. And they came with the little tassels. So there's all kinds of different colored tassels in there, which is cool. So I'll probably work on a few of those. Even I might do some after this tutorial today. But I will do a tutorial with them for sure, because those will be kind of fun. Anyways, I always get a little sidetracked. So get all your gear together, get all your supplies ready to roll, and let's get painting this tutorial, you guys. The one thing I forgot to mention, here's the previous short that I did. But I forgot to mention for the metallic, we are going to use this CSY Art Gallery mini tin handmade watercolor box. I do believe in this one I probably used, I'm going to guess this dark bronzy one, but I'll use these because I know that's what I used in here. So I will use them. Again, that's a CSY Art Gallery metallic watercolors. And I don't mind these, they're pretty good, but to get a decent, to see the the metallic decently, you have to use quite a bit. So before I even get to that part, right now I'm going to activate these. I'm going to move that painting out of the way. And I'm just going to get the water on them because it takes a bit for these guys to get activated. So as you can see, this one has, you know, a bunch of beautiful flowers in it. There's 5. Then it's got some different, you know, some eucalyptus in the background and some green leaves. Some of the leaves don't have any paint in them. So we're going to do something like that in the background. To start with, we are going to do the flowers. So we're going to put a few flowers in the back, few flowers down, and then we'll work on some greenery in the background. And so this one's kind of unique in the sense that it doesn't have, you know, it's not totally painted in every single one, which is cool. So we're going to do a couple yellow and then a couple brighter reddy pink ones. Similar colors, but obviously not the same ones because I just don't usually do that. And I always mix my colors a whole big bunch, so I never even really know what colors exactly there's because I mix them. I love that. That's part of art I love, is just coming up with new fun colors as you go. But we will stick with kind of the yellows and, you know, using some of the burnt sienna, raw sienna, some of these ones down here with some of the pinks, the cool pink, the opera pink. So we're going to work with that, you guys. So we'll start up in the left-hand corner with a yellow flower. So we're going to start over here, doing the dot technique as always, because I'm still really loving that. I did draw out a peony, so I may do a peony without doing the dot technique here coming up soon, but I got one going on. Anyhow, so we're going to start with some yellow dots. We'll start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots of yellow. I'm going to go in with a little bit of that burnt sienna. Put a few dots down. And maybe some really bright yellow in the center with the lemon yellow. So clean off your brush, tap it off. We're using that number 8, so we have a bit more control. And we're not going to push down as hard as we would if we were using a big piece of paper, but we're going to start by pushing down on the side. As you can see my angle. And we're going to go and drag those out to create some petals. Make sure you're cleaning off your brush in between, because if you're not, it's going to lose its brightness in the color, and it's going to end up looking muddy. So there's one flower done. In the center of that one, I want to go and add in a bit more of that bright yellow. So I'm just going to tap some of that down, some of that lemon yellow down in the center. Excellent. We'll go work on one down here, and we're going to put down a pink one just below it. Same idea. We're going to go in with the opera pink. So that's the nice bright, bright, bright one. We'll go with 4 dots of that. And then we're actually going to use the light red. I think that's what that is. Yes, this light red here. Dot those up around there. So this one, we want it to open up with a smaller petal kind of down the front, with a smaller petal down the front. So we're going to go get our brush nice and wet, and we're going to start pushing water. We want that one going that direction. For this one here in the center, we want it coming up. And it just roughly creating the look of petals. They don't need to be perfect. And then this little guy down here, just a little shorty. Great, those look wonderful. So we'll go and add a bit more of that opera pink in the center to, oh, that's a lot, but that's okay. Brighten that one up a bit. Over here on the far side, we are going to do another big reddish colored one. On this one here, it's got more orange in it and more of the raw sienna and that light red. So we're going to go with that for this one, with just maybe a little bit of opera pink in there. Won't be exactly the same, but similar types of colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots of that. We're going to put an orange, a little bit of orange in the center. And then we'll do the light red coming out from there. All right, let's start it off. Oh, that orange kind of took over. That's all right. This one will be a little bit more orangey. Wow, that orange is intense. Okay, so we are going to add some of the opera pink into that, into the center here. The orange was a little intense there, but that's all right. We can drag a little bit of this in there. No sweat. That looks perfect. And we're going to do one more small yellow one down here in the corner, just a little one. So I'm going to take some of this yellow that I have mixed up, and I'm only going to put down 3 dots of that, maybe a little bit of opera pink in there for fun. And we'll just do 3 smaller petals. Actually, maybe one little guy coming down. Excellent. Okay, so we have our flowers done. I think they'll be perfect because, as you know, we go and do the line work and all that. So in the background now we're going to go and do some of the green leaves. So I like to kind of have them a bit muted, especially if we're doing that eucalyptus, but working with some of the, dark Russian green, a little bit of a brighter green, perhaps the olive green. I'll grab that. So we'll have a little bit of the deep green and some of the olive green, maybe the green YO. And then we will also probably put a little bit of the light blue in there too. So we're just going to do small dots of that. Do a little bit of the olive green here. We'll do one olive green, one light blue, and then one of the dark green. Now you don't have to do the dots for these ones because they are small. You can just go ahead and load up your brush. But if you want to do the dots, we're going and creating circular shapes like so. And we want them to be slightly close together because we're going to connect them all and have it as a branch of eucalyptus, but you can leave some space in between for those petals that we're just going to do with the ink. So same colors that we had on that one. The olive green, the light blue, and the dark green. 1 dot of each. You don't want a ton of water because we're working in a smaller space, and you don't want to push down too much pressure because we are working in a smaller space. So we're using a little bit more of that tip, but a bit of the side as well. Ooh, I love that. As those colors blend together, they look wonderful. And I'm going to put one more down here with the same colors. I love how they flow together. Clean off your brush. If it's too wet, again, the tip is to just on the side, dab a little bit of that water off. But you don't want it too dry. You want to have still some water on there. And again, here we go. Beauty. Those look great. We're going to do a few more eucalyptus. I think we'll do them over in this direction over here. And then we'll do some of just straight, just a regular looking leaf. And I'm going to use the same colors over here. So I'm going to actually put one up here. When you're doing the leaves like this, If you want them to look a little different from each other, then put the dots in different places. So here I just changed up where the dots were. So this one too. I've got the light blue at the top, the olive green at the bottom. So they won't all look exactly the same. They won't anyways. That's a beauty. Got a little too much water pooling in that one, so I'm picking it up. I'm going to put a couple more leaves down here. So again, with this one, okay, I'm going to put the olive green at the top of this one. And then we'll put the dark green over to the left. And the light blue to the right. And we'll take let's go down with this one. Yeah, looks fabulous. So you can just see how they shift. The light looks like it's in a different spot just by where you place the dot of color. So that's a good thing to remember when you're doing these paintings, that if you want it to look a little different, then just be mindful of where you're putting those dots of color. And that'll change up the look of it a bit and how much. So if you want it to be a darker petal, add more dark green. A darker leaf, add more dark green. If you want it to be lighter, add more of the lighter colored ones. I think that's good for those. Now we're going to go in and just put in a few of the regular shaped leaves just throughout the background with the same technique as the dot technique. And for these leaves, we can do whatever colors we want. If we want them to be brighter, we got a pretty bright colored picture going on right now. So let's use some brighter green. So I'm going to use the green yellow. I'm going to put one dot there. And I'm going to use some of the gray green. I love that kind of muted olivey green. Okay, so we got those 2 dots down. We're going to put our brush tip, start it down, and we're going to push down on quite an angle to get that shape of that leaf. Just like so. So instead of holding my brush up and down, I'm holding it on quite the angle. I have this really fun blue going on in my dish right now that almost looks like a eucalyptus blue. This is from a previous painting, this one here. I'm gonna use some of that for putting another leaf down here. So I'm gonna do 1 dot there, and then I'm gonna do olive green with that one. So I'm just putting the 2 dots beside each other. That'll be enough. And we're just going to go on an angle. As you can see my brush there, keep an eye on it. And we're lifting up. Ooh, that's a pretty one too. I'm loving the color of these leaves. And I think I'll do 1 more of those style leaves down here. Actually, no, that's enough of that. Because I want some of these skinnier leaves as well. And we're getting pretty full. So we're going to do that. We're going to use a little bit of the light blue. We'll do a couple down here. I'll do 2 dots of the light blue. These are going to be 2 separate petals. And then I'm going to go in with the dark green. One dot for each petal or each leaf. Oh my gosh. We're going to drop down and we're just going to drag our brush with the tip and lift up. So it's going to be a more narrow leaf. I'm going to put some yellow green in that one just because it turned pretty bluey. Look at that beauty. Okay, and then we'll do 1 here, olive green with some, what do we got for a fun green? So let's go with the sap green. This one nice here, bright. And then we're going to do a nice thin lined leaf there. Maybe we'll do one more quick one there too. That one I used the yellow green. And we're just going to push down and come up. One more over on this side here, and that's going to do it for all of that. Let's go with the sap green again. Sap green and the green YO. Okay, we're going to push down and bring those up together. All right, now we're going to let these totally dry. And then we're going to go in and do our line work with our, oh, I didn't say that either at the beginning, our Micron Archival. I knew I was forgetting some stuff. All right, so I'm using the Micron Archival Ink 01 pen. I am loving these. I haven't totally run out of them, so I haven't bought the other pens yet. But I also haven't been to our art store to see what they had there. But I will be going soon because I'm going to buy some paint with the, I guess I didn't tell you guys that, but I actually did finally get a paycheck from YouTube, and it was $130. So it's for, I can't remember the time frame, but anyways, so that money I'm going to go buy a set of the stone ground paints. Anyway, we can start outlining our flowers here, no problem. I'll start with this one up here. And we are doing the 2 lines going throughout there. So this, you've got to use your imagination a little bit more because we don't have that flower pre-drawn out. But you just want to be able to get some petals in there. Awesome, I think that looks really good. In these, we have also, I have also put down lines in the middle. So we'll do that exact same thing. We're going to go with some lines to create the look and the movement. So follow the shape of the petal with that. So this one, and then following the shape of the petal. This one we're going to come down and we're going to go to each side. This one we can curve curve going up. We can do this flower down here. So we've got 4 petals. These ones kind of bled together, but that's totally fine. And this one is smaller. It's opening up towards us, so just be mindful of that. Great. Doing those lines throughout the center. I don't get too crazy about them and overthink them. I just go in and plop them in there. We'll move up to this top one here. Again, this process of doing the outline, the looser you can hold your pen, the more organic the shapes will be. And just let your hand move where it wants to, as opposed to being so rigid. Then you'll get some nice shapes happening. Easy like that. We are going to do our last flower down here. All right, those look amazing. I really love that. We can work on these eucalyptus over here. So we're just going to give the look of the circle because they're round-ish. And we can put one over here that's just organic, coming behind there. Same as we did on the other side. I do like the look of that. Now we can go on to these ones here. Create a line through those as well. Oh, these guys down here. Anyway, you guys, so it's pretty easy to make a card look beautiful with some simple little details and just placement of the dots. And then the colors just don't look so flat, And it also makes it unique if you can go in and add in a few even petals if you wanted to do petals of the flower that weren't colored in with with paint, you can add some petals, and that makes it look really pretty as well. So just simply like that, we have this gorgeous card already done up. So to finish off, we are going to add in some metallic, and I am going to use a 10-0 for that. So we're using this coppery gold. I would say copper. That's the color we're going to use. And so previously on the last bunch of tutorials, I've been going in and putting in metallic in these little gaps. But in this particular one, I just did highlighting around some of the petals and some of the leaves. So we're going to do just that. We'll start with this flower up here. And just adding some of that highlighting. It gives a little bit more dimension, a little bit more pop, and a little bit more detail, which is just fun. I enjoy, I have decided, I think, this is how we create our unique style too as artists. The more that we do something, the more we know what we really, truly like the best. And as much as I try to do muted colors and paintings, I am really, really drawn to color and brightness. And it doesn't need to necessarily be neon pink or anything like that. It can simply be just bright, like these eucalyptus. I absolutely love the amount of color that's in there. So I've tried to do more muted paintings, and I never love them as much as I do with these beauties, where you get that color roll in and you get depth and you just get movement and life in your painting. You know, it's so good. So that's what I prefer. Absolutely prefer that the most. Adding in pizzazz. I have a friend, she's my neighbor, and she has the most gorgeous, soft photos. She's a photographer, and she's a creative just in general, but what she makes, I aspire to do what she does. Like, I just think, oh my God, like, how do you make all that stuff look so beautiful? And it's just really soft, beautiful tones and colors, and oh, it's unreal. I'm just inspired by her so greatly. All right. The one thing in this OG picture, which I kind of forgot to do, were the center stamens. If you can see them here, these coming up, the orange ones. So I'm going to go in and plunk in a few of those, but I am going to do it with this metallic. I'm going to use that one. Live a little dangerously. So we're just putting the stamen in, some long coming out the middle, and then just a little dot on the end. Doesn't need to be perfect. You can do a few of them on each, however you want to do them. If you don't want to do them, don't. You don't need to. But just for the sake of following along with that tutorial, or that short, I'm putting these in here. There we go. You got to keep these really wet, these ones. It has been pouring rain here, you guys, all day so far, pretty much. They're calling for like 25 millimeters of rain, which I don't complain about, but it's a lot. And I can just hear it coming down. Good enough for those. They don't need to be anything too extravagant or too crazy. Right on. You guys, that, and no splatters on this one. So again, I'm just going to do... put that on there. And we have our card all finished up. So you can take off the tape, as I love. This is the best part. I love what it looks like once you get the tape off, because you get these sharp edges, which I also like that. When you get, it's not too much on this one, but you can see where it's just like sharp edges on this flowy paint. I don't know. I like the look of that. So that's that tutorial, you guys. I hope that does it justice. I hope that was kind of fun and an easy one for you guys and something simple. Again, as I tell you with all my tutorials, you can play around with all different colors when you do them. So just have fun with that. So there you have it, you guys. Another cool, fun, quick little tutorial of a card with a few different techniques. So we're not doing the splatter in this one. We're adding those just line drawn leaves in there. So that opens up another option for when you're creating. And it goes to show you how you can take something from big and make it small. So if you use a little bit less brush, as I said in the last tutorial, using a little bit less brush, less water, less paint, you can work on a smaller scale, which is awesome. So whenever, and then you can blow this up on a bigger scale, more water, more paper, more paint, more paint brush. So if you want to go even up in a paintbrush, that gives you a lot of different options as well as far as it goes when you are doing a painting. So just remember that when you're playing around with watercolor and having fun, do remember to use different sizes of paintbrushes, using different amounts of water, amounts of paint. You know, play around. That's the biggest thing I can stress. And for myself, oh, hey, buddy, we haven't seen you in a little while. Yeah, so there's just a lot of different options, and it's important that you play around when you're doing tutorials and you're just practicing. Just let yourself be free and let yourself make mistakes, and then realize that they're not actually mistakes after all. They've just helped you lean into a different technique or lean into a different color combination or anything like that. So be sure to have fun when you're doing all these. Don't be too serious. That's the most fun about art and being creative, is that the more you let yourself just be free and explore, the more beautiful the art becomes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. As always, if you like the tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. If you guys are interested in any of the Famui, I didn't use any Famui in this tutorial, but if you're interested in Famui paint or Famui paint brushes, you are more than welcome to use my link and the promo code to get 10% discount off of anything you buy off of Famui. So I will link that in the description as well, so that you guys can have it and try out some different supplies if you guys don't already have it. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.